Right now, there are at least 7 bills that women over the age of 60 in this country are paying every single month that they do not have to pay. And the reason nobody has told you about them is because every person whose job it is to collect that money from you has absolutely no reason to tell you that you can stop. Your county is not going to call you and say, "We can lower your property taxes." Medicare is not going to send you a letter explaining that your premium should be zero. The IRS is not going to remind you that a brand new deduction worth up to $6,000 a year just showed up in the tax code with your name on it. And nobody at all, is going to knock on your door and tell you that the energy bill you have been struggling with every single winter has a federal program behind it that will pay your utility company directly on your behalf. What I am about to walk you through is 7 bills plus 2 bonus moves at the end for the women who are doing this on their own, whether you are widowed or divorced or simply single and figuring it out by yourself. Every single one of these is real. Every one of them is legal, and every one of them requires you to ask for it, because not one of them is automatic. Nobody is coming to save you from these bills. You have to go get what is yours. 7 bills, 2 bonus moves, and the very last one is the one that most women over 60 have never even heard of, and it is worth up to almost $6,000 a year. Bill number 1 is your property tax, and this is the one that makes people the angriest once they learn the truth. In almost every state in this country, there is a senior property tax exemption or a senior freeze or a circuit breaker credit that can dramatically reduce what you owe on your home, and in some places, it can bring your bill close to zero. The rules depend on your state and your county, but the pattern is always the same. There is an age threshold, usually 60 or 65. There is sometimes an income limit, and sometimes there is no income limit at all, just your age. And in every single case, you have to file for it yourself because your county does not look at your birthday and automatically apply the discount. They have no incentive to do that because every dollar they give you in relief is a dollar of revenue they lose. If you are a single woman living alone in a home you have owned for decades and your property taxes keep climbing every year, there is a very good chance you qualify for either a reduction or a freeze that caps your bill at the level it was when you turned 65. In Texas, the school tax freeze alone can save a homeowner thousands of dollars, and it has no income limit. In New York, the STR program and the Senior Enhanced STR exemption can knock a huge portion off your school taxes. In California, Proposition 19 protects your tax base when you move. And these are just 3 states. Nearly every state has something. Search your county name plus the words Senior Property Tax Exemption and make 1 phone call. Ask 2 questions. What programs do you have for homeowners over 65 and which ones have no income limit? That 1 call is the most valuable phone call you will make this year. Bill number 2 is your Medicare Part B premium. And right now, that premium is $202.90 coming straight out of your Social Security check every single month. Most women just accept it because it shows up as a deduction and they assume that is what it costs. But there are federal programs called Medicare Savings Programs that can pay that entire premium for you and cover your deductibles and your copays on top of it. The most comprehensive one is called QMB, which stands for Qualified Medicare Beneficiary. If you are single and your monthly income is under about $1,350, you very likely qualify. And QMB does not just cover the premium, it covers your deductibles, your copays, your coinsurance, basically everything Medicare asks you to pay out of pocket. All of it covered by the state on your behalf. If your income is a bit higher, up to about $1,616 a month, there is another program called SLMB that will still eliminate that $202 monthly charge entirely. The reason millions of women do not have this is because you have to apply. It is not automatic. Nobody enrolls you. You have to go to your state Medicaid office or call 1-800-MEDICARE and ask them to help you apply for a Medicare savings program. I will put all the numbers and links in the description below this video. Bill number 3 is your prescription drug costs, and this one is simpler than you think. There is a federal program called Extra Help, sometimes called the Low-Income Subsidy, and if you qualify for it, the most you will ever pay for a covered medication is about $5 for a generic, or about $12.65 for a brand-name drug. Compare that to the $50 or $80 or $100 a month that women without this program are spending on a single medication, and you start to see how much money is being left on the table. The income cutoff for Extra Help in 2026 is about $23,940 a year for a single person, which works out to roughly $2,000 a month. And here is a shortcut most people never find out about. If you already got approved for any of the Medicare savings programs I just told you about in Bill number 2, you are automatically enrolled in Extra Help. You do not have to file a separate application. It just kicks in. If you have not done either one yet, you can apply through Social Security online or call them directly. I will put the website and the number in the description. Bill number 4 is your federal income tax, and I need you to pay very close attention here because this one changed recently, and it could mean the difference between owing the IRS money and owing them nothing at all. There is a new law, the one people have been calling the One Big Beautiful Bill, and buried inside it is something called the senior bonus deduction. Starting with the 2025 tax year, every single person who is 65 or older gets an extra deduction of up to $6,000. If you are married and both of you are 65 or older, that's $12,000. This stacks on top of everything you already get. It sits on top of your regular standard deduction, and on top of the extra deduction seniors have always gotten for being over 65. You do not have to itemize. You do not have to give anything up. It's simply added. And for a woman living on Social Security plus maybe a small pension or some savings, stacking all of these deductions together can push your federal income tax bill all the way to zero. The senior bonus deduction is available in full to single filers with income up to $75,000, and it only starts to shrink above that number. But here is what makes this urgent. As the law stands right now, this deduction only exists for 2025, 2026, 2027, and 2028, 4 tax years unless Congress extends it. So this is a claim it every single year while it lasts situation. If you use tax software, it'll ask your age and apply it. If someone else prepares your return, you make sure they applied it. Do not leave $6,000 sitting there. Bill number 5 is the tax you are paying on your Social Security benefits, and a lot of women believe Social Security is always taxed, and that is simply not true. Whether your Social Security is taxed depends on something called your provisional income, which is your other income plus half of your Social Security. If you are single and that number comes in under $25,000, then 0% of your Social Security is taxable. And even at the highest income levels, the maximum that can be taxed is 85%, which means at least 15% of your Social Security is always tax-free, no matter what. Now here is where women get hurt the most. When you first filed for Social Security, you may have filled out a form called the W-4V form, telling the government to withhold federal tax from every single monthly check, just to be safe. Then a big chunk of that money comes back as a refund the next year. Think about what that means. You are letting the government hold your money for free all year long on tax you may not even owe. The fix is to look at your real numbers, figure out what you actually owe, and file a new W-4V to stop or reduce that withholding so it matches what you will really owe and not $1 more. Bill number 6 is your energy bill, and this one hits hardest between November and March when heating costs climb and your income does not climb with them. There is a federal program called LIHEAP, the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, and it does not give you a coupon or a percentage off your bill. It sends a payment directly to your gas or electric company on your behalf. Income limits vary by state, but if you are a single person bringing in around $22,000 a year or less, there is a strong chance you qualify. And if you are 60 or older, you get priority access. In most states, you can apply a full month before the general public, and that matters because LIHEAP is first come, first served. Once the money runs out for the year, it is gone until the next cycle. There is also a connected program called the Weatherization Assistance Program that will send someone to your home to seal up drafts, insulate your walls, and repair or replace your heating system at no cost, and that permanently lowers your bill going forward. To find your local LIHEAP office, you can dial 211. That is the National Social Services line, and they will point you exactly where to go. Bill number 7 is the fee you pay to have your taxes done. Every year, millions of women walk into a storefront tax office or a big-name chain and pay $200 to $400 to have a fairly straightforward retirement tax return prepared. And many of those women legally qualify to have that exact same return done for free by people the IRS itself has trained and certified. There is a program called TCE, Tax Counseling for the Elderly, built specifically for people 60 and older. It specializes in exactly the questions retirees have about pensions and Social Security and retirement account withdrawals. The largest provider is AARP Tax-Aide, which runs thousands of sites across the country, and you do not have to be an AARP member to use it. Its focus is older adults of modest to moderate income. And that phrase matters because it is not just for the lowest incomes, it covers the broad middle too. If your return is straightforward, a couple of Social Security checks, maybe a pension, maybe a few investment statements, you should not be handing a chain $300 for 45 minutes of data entry when a free qualified option exists and your age makes you eligible. Now, I promised you 2 bonus moves, and I want to be clear about who these are for. The 7 bills I just covered apply broadly to women at every income level. These last 2 are specifically for the woman who is managing everything on her own and who may be leaving the most money on the table simply because nobody ever sat her down and told her. Bonus move number 1 is SNAP benefits. I know some of you just tensed up because there is a feeling attached to this one that says, I don't need that. That is not for me. I am not in that situation. And I want to challenge that feeling with a fact. If you are a woman over 60, living alone on Social Security, and your monthly income is under about $1,763, you likely qualify for SNAP, and it can put between $100 and $200 or more worth of groceries on your table every single month. The program has special rules for people over 60. You don't have to meet the gross income test that younger people do. You only need to meet the net income test, and you can deduct medical expenses over $35 a month from your income, which means your actual threshold is higher than you think. Every dollar you save on groceries is a dollar that stays in your pocket for medication or your electric bill or just having a little breathing room at the end of the month. Smart women use every resource available to them. And this is a resource that exists specifically because the government knows that seniors on fixed incomes need it. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. You paid into this system your entire working life. You can apply at your local SNAP office or through your state benefits website, and I will put the details in the description. Bonus move number 2 is for every woman who has lost a husband or an ex-husband and does not know that Social Security owes her money. If your spouse or your ex-spouse passed away and they worked and paid into Social Security during their lifetime, you may be entitled to survivor benefits based on their earnings record. And those benefits can be as high as 100% of what they were receiving, depending on when you claim. If you are 60 or older, you can file for survivor benefits right now. If you wait until your full retirement age, which is 67 for most women born after 1960, you receive the full 100% of your late spouse's benefit. If you claim earlier, the amount is reduced, but it is still real money that is sitting there waiting for you. And here is what most women do not know. If you were married to someone for at least 10 years and they passed away, you can claim survivor benefits on their record, even if you are divorced, even if you remarried after age 60. The Social Security Administration does not go out of its way to tell divorced widows about this. You have to know it exists, and you have to ask for it. Call Social Security and tell them you want to explore your survivor benefit options. If you were married and divorced, if your ex-spouse died and you did not know this applied to you, it is worth one phone call to find out what you are owed. I will put all the contact information in the description. Let me tie all of this together with the one thing that matters more than any single bill I just walked you through. Every one of these programs exists right now. The property tax relief is on the books in your county. The Medicare savings programs are funded and waiting. The senior bonus deduction is in the tax code. The energy assistance is there. The free tax help is open. The survivor benefits are sitting in the system, but not one of them comes looking for you. Not one of them mails you a check for the bill you should not have been paying. Not one of them rings your phone to say you qualify. The system is built so the money stays where it is, unless you stand up and claim it. You now know 7 bills and 2 bonus moves. And you know that knowing is not enough. You have to pick up the phone. You have to fill out the form. You have to walk into the office and say, I am here for what is mine. So do one more thing for me. Send this video to one woman in your life who is over 60 or getting close. Your mother, your sister, your best friend, your neighbor, the woman at church who you know is out here figuring it out by herself. The chances are very high that she is paying at least one of these bills right now for absolutely no reason, and one share from you could change her year. That is what we are here for. I'll see you in the next one.